What is going on, everybody? Zionic here, and in today's video we're going to dive into the Kanto Cup with a battle submission from Remen Star. So thank you for sharing these battles with us. Dewgong, Kanto Ninetales, and Alolan Marowak. Let's get right into it. Alright, so the Kanto Cup is back for like the 100th time, but I think it's a pretty cool meta. Now, we do have Electrode here on the lead, so they're probably going to swap out and they will go into Alolan Marowak right here. Getting a bit of lag. It's been a bit touchy lately. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's been a bit rough. But here comes the first charge move. Could be the foul play. They're going to let it go. This could be devastating. It is the foul play, so they're able to hang on, but they will be getting off a Bone Club now. Unfortunately, not able to build up to the Shadow Ball to force a shield here. So they might be able to win the race to the next Bone Club, seeing that they are, yep, they do win the race, so that is good. They're probably going to get another no shield here from the Alolan Marowak, as they should be able to farm down with Fire Spin, but this is going to be pretty close. We'll have to see if they can get to one more Bone Club. No, the opponent decides to throw energy right there. That would have been incredibly close, and they're going to go ahead and let it go through. Now, let's see what they decide to come in with. Kanto Ninetales, I should say. I want to say Alolan, it's not. It's Kanto. Should be able to come in and farm down, but they're going to come in with the Dewgong instead and look to Ice Shard down. Now, they got to watch out for these Shadow Bones, as they will start to really hurt. If there's any debuffs applied, it could be deadly. Now, Ice Shard's still doing a decent of chunk. They're going to have to get rid of this thing, and they're throwing the Icy Wind now to take it out. Alolan Marowak, had it got to another Shadow Bone, could have been devastating, but Dewgong going to go ahead and take it down. Now, Electrode's still in the back. We'll have to see what the final Pokemon is going to be, but the Ninetales now is going to come in, and the final Pokemon is going to be Wigglytuff. Obviously, not going to like the Ninetales, as it is fire typing, can spam these weather balls very quickly, and they decide to no-shield it, which means the Ninetales is going to be able to farm down with Fire Spin without having to throw any energy. Going to be able to fully farm down, loaded on energy now. Electrode is in a tough position. This is what's great about running double fires in this meta. Sometimes there's not two answers to it, and they're going to go ahead and let that first Fire Spin go through. Very interesting call, as Dewgong is going to be able to Ice Shard down now, but they do force a shield. Electrode farming down, but Dewgong with 2 shields should be able to take this right here, as it's going to take 9 volt switches in order to take out Dewgong, as 1 discharge is 3 volt switch, so they're not going to do that. They're going to go ahead and throw the Icy Wind, though, just in case, but I think going for 1 more Ice Shard would have been enough, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. So even though they lost the lead pretty hard, they were definitely able to come back right there with the Ninetales versus Wigglytuff. You'll love to see it. Okay, next game. We have Nidoqueen on the lead. Now, Nidoqueen typically does very well in Open Ultra League, but in Kanto Cup, it really has to watch out for Dewgong. Now, we do see a Hypno come in, so I'm surprised the Alolan Marowak didn't come in right away. Granted, I run mine with Hex and Shadow Bone, so it's a lot better of a matchup, but applying the Icy Wind debuff is a good call right here, and they will swap out now into Ninetales. So we'll have to see what charge move is going to come through from Hypno. Honestly, could be anything right here, and it is going to be Thunder Punch. Okay, doesn't do too much damage right there. Fire Spin, applying a lot of pressure down. They should be able to go for a Weather Ball, but no, they overfarm just a bit. They're going to have to tank this Thunder Punch. Ninetales will be able to hang on, but no, it was a Shadow Ball! Almost taking out the Ninetales right there, and they're going to have to throw this Weather Ball. If the Hypno decides to shield, they might actually be able to farm down, and they do. That is unfortunate here for this battler. Hypno now loaded on energy, might just be able to get to 1 more Shadow Ball if Alolan Marowak comes in, but let's see if they come in with the Dewgong here. Yeah, they're going to come in with the Dewgong and look to farm down, as Ice Shard should be doing enough, but not before Thunder Punch can come through. Now, remember, this Hypno as well was debuffed with Icy Wind, so this Thunder Punch not going to do too much damage, and we will see that final Pokemon, as Nidoqueen will not want to come into this matchup, and it is going to be a Wigglytuff right here. So they're going to go ahead and throw the Icy Wind to do a decent amount of chip damage, but honestly, this is going to be a Alolan Marowak versus Nidoqueen here at the end. They actually don't swap out. Very interesting. Okay, they swap out right now. We will see the Nidoqueen come into this matchup, but thankfully, Alolan Marowak can just go straight for Bone Clubs. This is why it has a pretty good matchup here, especially with 2-to-1 shields. Had Alolan Marowak had only 1 shield, the Earth Power would be devastating, especially if they shield bait with Poison Fang. But they can safely shield right here. They're not. They're going to let that Poison Fang go through and try to farm down now, but they're going to go ahead and go for the Bone Club to take out the Nidoqueen. So that's looking to be a good game as, yeah, they decided to let it go. They're going to trust in Wigglytuff to try to close this game out, but honestly, I don't think that has it. They should be able to get to 2 Bone Clubs in time. Oh, this is going to be extremely close. Yeah, no Charm came through right there. Dewgong Switch Clock is coming back up, and it's one fast move away from Icy Wind. They swap to it and get to the Icy Wind, but not in time. They're going to have to shield here to stop the charge move, but that should be a good game. All shields are down on Wigglytuff, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played there in game 2. So kind of smooth. Very surprised about the Shadow Ball that landed on the Ninetales there, flipping the matchup, but good mid-game, and let's go ahead and get into the next one. We have Dewgong on the lead versus Shadow Victory Bell. Now, thankfully, this whole team can handle a Shadow Victory Bell, but Dewgong doesn't like it on the lead, so we will see the Ninetales come in and Fire Spin down. They're not swapping out. That is a very late swap, and coming into a Lapras now, they're going to go ahead and go for the Psyshock. I'm surprised they're not going for Weather Ball here, but that's okay. Psyshock going to do neutral damage as well, and they should be able to get to another one in time. Now, Lapras has a Surf right here, but not throwing it might be a mistake. Is this going to do enough damage to take out the Lapras? I think it might just hang on. Yeah, barely hangs on right there, and here comes the Surf from the Ninetales. They're going to go ahead and, yeah, they're going to shield it, stopping that damage, and farm down with Fire Spin, and they have a decent amount of loaded energy. We will see Dragonair come in, so this is a beautiful setup now for them. I think that was low power mode right there. They can go for the Dewgong into Dragonair matchup and Alolan Marowak into Shadow Victory Bell matchup, and that should be a good game. Dewgong now going to come in, lock this thing down. Might just be able to get an Icy Wind off versus Shadow Victory Bell if it swaps in too late. But here comes the charge move from Dragonair. Is it going to be the Dragon Pulse? Yeah, it is. That lands for a lot of neutral damage, and we see it decide to stay in. They're going to trust. Okay, they're throwing the Icy Wind. They're going to trust in Shadow Victory Bell to close this game out, but they do not know that there is an Alolan Marowak lurking in the back. Here it comes to Fire Spin down, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. Okay. Moving in this next one. We have Dewgong versus Hitmonchan. All right, this might be kind of tough. Hitmonchan, similar to Hypno with its punch coverage, can do very well. We have a Primeape now come in, so multiple fighters right here. And here comes the Night Slash. This is why Primeape can be so deadly in this meta, is Night Slash. It's going to be doing super effective damage. They decide to stop the first one, which is dangerous, as if it gets the boost, the Night Slashes later on will do way more damage. But they do get a shield in return there for Bone Club, so they're going to have to get up to the Shadow Ball in order to pressure that second shield. But here comes the Night Slash. Can Alolan Marowak hang on? Yes, it can. Going to be able to hang on very nicely right there and now go for a Bone Club themselves. Now, if Primeape decides to no-shield this right here, it'll be interesting to see if it can get to one more. Yeah, I think it can get to one more Night Slash. This is going to be incredibly close. One more Fire Spin, not enough, and CMP tie. That is so unfortunate. They're going to go ahead and let the Alolan Marowak go down. It's going to be up to Dewgong and Ninetales. I think the energy needs to be on Dewgong right here in order to get an Icy Wind off, but we'll have to see what they decide to do. They're going to come in with the Ninetales and farm down, and let's see what the final Pokemon is going to be. It's going to be Alolan Marowak, so that is kind of devastating right here. Thankfully, they do have Psyshock for neutral damage, but ultimately, Dewgong is going to have a tough time versus Hitmonchan when it comes back in. So we'll have to see if they can catch the charge move. They're going to go ahead and swap, trying to force the energy, but Alolan Marowak hangs on, and now Hitmonchan is locked and loaded, having access to Thunder Punch here. It's going to be doing super effective damage with the charge. Oh, they decided to go for Power Up Punch instead. Same difference, just going to be fully countering down. And if they decide to shield this right here, they might just be able to fully counter down. No, they decided to let it go. That's perfectly fine. Alolan Marowak on their side is still very nice win condition, and they can hang on. So this is looking to be a good game. Very tough one facing off against double fighters there, especially one with Night Slash to handle the Alolan Marowak. So we're going to see the Ninetales come back in, farm down. The game's not over yet, but if this Alolan Marowak has Bone Club, I think it definitely is. So here comes the first charge move. Are they going to call the Bone Club? They're going to shield it, and there is a Bone Club on that side. So that's looking to be a good game. Here comes the Weather Ball now to force that final shield from Alolan Marowak. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I think they won't be able to get to what, yeah. Alolan Marowak was so loaded on energy before that this is just a tough thing to come back from. And that is, yeah, in a Shadow Bone, that's going to be a good game. Very well played. Okay. Moving next one, we got Dewgong on the lead versus Galarian Rapidash. This is spicy, a shiny one at that, I believe. And we do see a Raichu come in, so we're going to see the Alolan Marowak now come into this matchup. Still needs to watch out for the Wild Charge, as that will do a lot of neutral damage. They have to respect it, and they're going to let it go. And it was a Psychic. Still a lot of damage right there, and the Bone Club now might just force the first shield of this game. Let's see how Alolan Raichu adjusts. Yeah, they do get a shield right here. Can they get to another Bone Club in time? Volt Switch, not enough damage. They will be able to get to it, and forcing 2 shields now from Alolan Raichu might just be exactly what they need to turn this game around. Though they lose Switch, they can come in with Ninetales and farm down for a lot of energy, and that's exactly what they're going to do, as Fire Spin can do so much neutral damage. Now, they got to start shielding at some point, and it is going to be a Wild Charge right there, which is beautiful, able to stop that, and Fire Spin down. 1-0 shields right here, and the opponent decides to surrender. Maybe they had a Grass in the back. So that is going to be a good game, very well played. Okay, moving into the next battle. We have Dewgong on the lead versus Pidgeot. All right, a very positive lead right here. This is what you want to see, especially with Alolan Marowak in the back. And we do see a swap into Shadow Victory Bell, so here comes the Ninetales. Now, I'm surprised they didn't bring in Alolan Marowak, but they are deciding to throw the Weather Ball. Very interesting. I think in this kind of situation, when you hard lock down something that good, and they decided to shield, that is even more interesting right here. Are we going to see a shield on this side as well? Yeah, we're going to see a shield stopping the Leaf Blade. They're going to be able to farm down. Had the Ninetales been loaded with energy, I think 2 Weather Balls might have put a lot of pressure there on the Pidgeot, but we're going to see that Pidgeot likely come back in and farm down with its fast move. I think it's going to be Running Gust. Yeah, it is Running Gust right here. But thankfully, Ninetales has enough energy here for the Weather Ball. Probably going to be a no shield there, but see, that does so much damage. Had it fully farmed down, it would have been able to get 2 right there, maintaining Switch and getting shields as well. But Dewgong can easily come into this. Doesn't really need to fear a Brave Bird. Essentially, it's going to hurt, but we do see a Machamp in the back, and Alolan Marowak should be able to take this. Just has to make sure they don't get one-shot by Rock Slide. That's the move they really have to watch out for, but Alolan Marowak can still hang on if they decide to no-shield it, but Rock Slide right there will be shielded. Here comes the first Bone Club. Likely going to be forcing the shield here from the Machamp because Alolan Marowak has so much health on it that Pidgeot won't be able to take it down as quickly. And here comes the second one now. So Alolan Marowak showing just how strong it can be, honestly. This is why it's the GOAT, the greatest Pokemon of all time, because it can just slice and dice through the meta, especially in the Kanto Cup, and they decide to surrender. So that is going to be a good battle, very well played. And that was the final battle for today's video. Very straightforward team. Dewgong, Double Fire, Alolan Marowak there in the back. If you don't have Shadow Ball and you do have Shadow Bone, still run that. It's pretty cool. If you want to run with Hex and Fire Blast as well, that could be utilized as well. But really cool team utilizing Dewgong that we got from the first community day of this season with its double legacy move. So shout out to Remonstar again for sharing these battles with us. So like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.